Looking at a couple of our strategy story here, we saw a write-up on the Salty2FA Phishing Kit, an analysis of some of the methods that are being used by this malware as a service toolkit. The researchers at Ontanu Cyber Defense Center found studied a sophisticated phishing campaign using Salty2FA, and then enumerated some of the methods that are being used, including some advanced evasion techniques. They are rotating subdomains based on the session used, assigning unique domains per victim to make it harder to detect trends in access or activity. Misusing legitimate platforms. There's a story that we skipped for this week about the growing prevalence in prominent attacks that are misusing legitimate commercial RMM tools. We're seeing an easier process of identically replicating corporate pages, brands, menus, layout, language. Using Cloudflare's turnstile service to block automated analysis, as well as targeting specific organizations and tailoring their methods to the industry targeted, and using distributed infrastructure so that attacks aren't being leveraged from a single point. In the article, it talks about, again, the importance of user awareness. These are leveraging a good deal of social engineering tactics as well. But I picked the story because there's a lot of increasing trends that we see that are being demonstrated here, using more sophisticated lures, oftentimes getting AI copy to make those a lot more convincing. Gone are the days of just looking for the obvious typos to know if it's coming as a fish rather than legitimate. Misusing legit tools to bypass safety measures that are in place, and specifically focusing on 2FA bypass methods as that strong authentication becomes a more standard practice. I don't think that, we touched on this before, I don't think user awareness alone can be the solution, when part of the reason that this is getting more popular is that it's easier than ever to make fishes that are harder to detect than before. So I wanted to open it up, what are some of the other things that we can be doing? I know, Justin, you've been a strong advocate of putting more protective measures in place from the admin side, enforcing least privilege, making sure that access to services is limited, that folks don't have just open admin access to their machines and are operating as local users. What are some other things that we can do?
I think strong microsegmentation, there's a good argument for that too. And I think we're even going to talk about a little bit how that interplays with like zero trust later on. The thing that also I would recommend in scenarios like this is defense in depth approach, right? Like you said, user awareness alone can't be the solve. You have to have that onion style layered defense where if one thing breaks, you have either the visibility or the ability to take proactive steps to stop and mitigate these threat actors in their tracks. What's I guess not really surprising, but is more of a concerning trend as of late. I think it was either last week or the week before where we talked about a similar operation where they were doing some very similar things where they were replicate. I think they were even able to get legitimate web hosts from these organizations to serve up like duplicated content. It's the enterprise scale that's concerning here. They're not. I don't think that these people, these at least in this story and the other story that I'm referencing, are really doing anything new or novel. It's just the scale at which these things are happening now. We need to get better in adopting the maybe not the buzzwords, right? But at least the principles and the ideas behind the buzzwords. Zero trust is one of those things. Microsegmentation is one of those things. Being able to adopt even just better firewall practices, more auditing, more visibility, SIM. I know coming from the SIM people, that's kind of tooting our own horn a little bit, but like all these things have interoperability and interplay with each other to make you more resilient overall, right? And then we always have to account for us being humans at the end of the day. And we're great, but we're extremely flawed. We can be tricked really easily. So we need to plan and account for that too. But also as a user, it's not just being aware, but just being proactive. And security is everybody's responsibility and everybody's job. It doesn't matter what your job title is inside of an organization. If you even just take an extra 5 minutes a day to just think a little bit more critically about the thing that you're about to click on, and report things, even if it's not, even if it ends up being like a total time waster. There's always that what if, right? What if that could have been malicious? And Nick, I think you've done a lot with your team at teaching a little bit more, so you probably have some other tips too.
Yeah, you touched on most all of them. Just next gen firewall, whatever that means these days, but a sophisticated firewall, I'll call it. Just checking DNS and automatically, obviously, as well as SIM, tooting our own horn as well. So just having a security stack that can detect on these common copycat like attacks.
My default position on talking about stuff like that is I'd love it if you use ours, but please use someone's. Like,
Yeah.
it is end of the day. I want to see folks well secured. Hopefully we can help them do that. But whether or not that's the case, I still want to see them secured.